Oh yeah, you can hear me typing. Hang on, I've just hit something funny on the keyboard as well, so that's not good. Well, hello. Yes, not going very well at the moment. Sorry. I have got my Christmas jumper, my Christmas t-shirt on. So there you go. That's my very subtle Christmas t-shirt. Oh, and I can hear myself in the other room as well. I'm just sending Emma Cook a little message to say quiz is on because she always misses it. So excuse me, just 1 second, and I'll just do this very quickly. And right, there we go. Quiz, one word. That's all she's getting. Hello, welcome. It's great to have you out there. So many of you as well. 47 odd people watching, which is fantastic. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. I hope you had a great Christmas. I'm watching the chat in a separate window down. It's down there. So if I keep looking down there, that's where the chat is. So that's why I keep looking away. So yeah, hope you've had a great one out there. And I don't know how many of you are playing as teams, and I've got the Ant Hill mob out there, which I was expecting. So great to see you out there. But if you want to come up with some team names, and that would be great. Yeah, so let us know what those are. Same format as last time. Simon, that's a cruel idea. I like the idea of giving everyone her mobile so we can all remind her. She might not like it very much at all. Gareth, hi Sarah and Gareth, Neil, Wifey Woodshed, Simon. Yeah, it's been good for Nigel. Pleased to hear it. That's great. So yeah, so I'll just slow down now and get ready for the quiz. Hi Jeff. So the quiz is going to be the same format as last time. There's no Kahoot anymore. That just frankly got too expensive, so we had to drop it out. But it takes some of the pressure off, hopefully. So it makes life a little bit easier. Barnyard returns, our team name for Kate Barnard. Very good. Thick but quick for Charlie at CET Wood Turning. I like it. So yeah. All you need, pen and paper, just to keep a track of your scores, so we can do a tally up at the end, see who's won, see who hasn't, but it doesn't really matter because it's just a bit of fun. We're just here, just having a bit of fun between Christmas and New Year, making sure that we're all keeping in touch and just having a laugh, really. Nothing too serious. The questions are all, hello, Amanda. The Camels for Bill Gibbons there. Happy Campers with Graham Pritchard. So yeah, the questions aren't too onerous, we hope. We have tested them. We've rejigged a few of them, and hopefully none too hard. So we'll get onto the quiz in a minute. Flodden Escapees for Nigel and Alison. Okay, I'm sure there's a meaning to that. I'm not sure what it is. So, and I'm almost scared to ask. I'm not sure, but yeah. Oh, hang on. Amanda needs a pen and paper. So she's in my desk. Hang on. You coming out for these? She's just going to come running out of the other room now. Here we go.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, we are really well organised here at the moment. And the good thing is that there's a 15-second delay from what happens here to what happens on YouTube. So by the time she gets back in the front room watching this on the main TV, she'll have seen it there. So that's fine. Jenny Harding, the Yorkshire T3. That's hard to say, actually. Leona, good to see you. Mark. Yeah, so have we dumbed it down for you? No, not really, but we've tried to spread it out. What we've done this year, and let's see if it works. Two things that are different to what normally happens. The it's the same 6 rounds, 36 questions, 6 questions per round. Don't worry, not 36 questions per round. We would be here all night. Each round is based on a decade. So we've got the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, the noughties, the 10s, and the 20s. We've got the 20s. We haven't got the 20s. That'd be too many. So 6 rounds, and each round has been written by one of our friends. I did dive in on one of the rounds and read you a few of the questions, but most of the questions have been written by other people. So, in fact, if you don't like the questions, don't blame me. And names are named, so you will know who's written the questions. So if it comes to it, some of them are in the chat, so you can even have a go at them. But gently, please, gently. So, yeah. David Robertson, hi, good to have you there. We'll be starting very soon. We'll give it just another few minutes, just to allow the stragglers to arrive and see what happens. In the meantime, let's just do a quick little background check. So there's no on-screen countdown, but there is a 30-second countdown for each question, which involves this piece of music. So if you can tell me if this is too loud, too... Leonie, you're not taking part. Oh, go on. Right, so how's the music sound? Is that too overpowering, or is that okay? Can you still hear me? Do you want to still hear me? I don't know. Let's have a look. The stragglers. All right, okay, let's turn the music down just a little bit. You're not actually saying if that's a good or a bad thing there, Leona, I'm not sure. Okay, so let's try that. Turn it down a little bit more. So there we go. Can you still hear me? If you can hear me, I might give a little clue out. You never know. Unlikely, but that's good. Thank you, Leona. Roderick, lovely to see you out there. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. And Helen and Jane and Gemma, fantastic to have you out there. Right. Well, the chat's moving really fast, so I'm going to struggle to keep up with it. So do bear with me. If I miss a comment and it's a really important one or a really funny one, let me know and just remind me again. I've got too many screens going on at the moment. Thank you, Mandy. Right, she hasn't had the answers, but oh right, okay. She's taken that message away. I'm not sure why. That's a bit strange. Right, okay, so here's my little crib sheet as well, so I'll get myself organised. The main is Benjamin, hi, and everyone else. Good to have you out there. So I'm going to embarrass him now. This is Benjamin Maney, who's just signed in there. He's a really gifted turner, does some beautiful work. He's just been admitted onto the Emerging Turners program that we've mentioned in the past. And he's also, that was a typo, Amanda. I'm wondering what you did mean to write. Okay. Benjamin, as well as being a great turner, is also a graphic designer, and he designed the wonderful poster we've got for this year's Wood Turning Weekender, actually next year's Wood Turning Weekender, the Return to Springfields. We gave him a brief of what we wanted it to be, the idea, and he came up with something fantastic. So we're really happy with that. I'm sure it might be shown a bit later on during the evening. So how are we doing time-wise? I can't see my clock. It's 7:42. So shall we give it till 7:45 and just let any last-minute people join in? And Jennifer, hi. Yeah, just keeping up on that. We'll give it till 7:45 and then we'll get it going. So that's not too far off now. And probably up. Wow, we've got a good turnout tonight. Thank you so much. I'm really grateful. We put enough work into this that it's good to have a good audience there. So thank you very much for joining in tonight. I didn't check, but I hope you can hear me okay. And if not, I can always shut up if necessary. So that'll be good. Right, so Emma's got actually less than 3 minutes, Leona. So if anyone's actually got a number, I don't really like to phone her because it seems wrong, but I have texted her to say, quiz is on tonight. So let's see. She will kick herself for missing it, I know. Emma does tend to leave things to the last minute sometimes. I've noticed it shows, but she pulls it all together right at the last minute. Right, I can say that because she's not watching, hopefully. So right, so we've got a minute and a half, Emma. I don't know if I've got a text message back from her. Nope, nothing. Loads of rubbish emails. By the way, we sent out an email this evening to remind everyone about the quiz. Some of you, many of you, may well have got that twice. So as I tried to explain in the email itself, that's because we have two mailing lists, one for the Chestnuteers who get our weekly newsletter, and a separate one for the weekender, returning weekender. What that means is that if you're signed up for both, the system, which is mostly me, isn't clever enough to realize that, so it will have sent them twice. So if you're a bit spammed by us tonight, my apologies. There wasn't a lot we could do about it, but we wanted to make sure that everyone who wanted to be at the quiz can be at the quiz and join in with us. So right, but it's great to have so many out there. Thank you. Right, okay, so we're going to get going in just 1 minute more. Just give Emma and anyone else. Why are we picking on Emma here? Just give everyone a chance to turn up. What did Father Christmas get me? Various things. A nice big bar of Galaxy chocolate, which is one of my favourites. I got. You put me on the spot now, and I can't remember all of them. I got some aftershave. Did get some socks because why not? And right. Oh, here's Emma. So great to have you there, Emma. You've got a huge storm over. Oh, power cut. Oh gosh. I thought for a second you were on your mum's phone, but you're on my phone, is what you meant to say. Cool. Well, great to have you out there. Well done, Emma. I admire the devotion. Thank you very much. It's good to have you there. Yeah, I heard a lot about some storms going on at the moment. We'll just give Emma a second or two to get a coat off or whatever she needs to do. Get a coat on, maybe, if they're having a power cut. I'm not sure. And yes, Amanda, I do talk a lot because there's no one else here. I've got to keep it going. So it's difficult. Right, okay. I'm not going to comment on Leona's or Simon's messages there. I'm just going to have a quick drink instead. Okay, so is everyone ready? Because if we are, we can make a start and start on the first question. Right, so let's get the other screen up. There we are. So, right, so if everyone's ready, we can start. And the first round is, actually, I don't know if you heard, Emma, each round is based on a certain a decade, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, noughties and the 10s. The rules. Oh, you want the rules? Rules? We don't do rules. Okay, so rules. Let's see. Got 30 seconds to answer. It's A, B, C, or D is the, or 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't remember. But that's, you just need to pick the question. You need to pick the answer that you think is correct, jot it down, and you get 1 point per question that you get right. If you get it wrong, you get 0. But let's make it a little bit more fun. I would say that the sixth question, the last question in every round, is worth 5 points. Now, that's not because they're necessarily more difficult, but what it means is that if you're not doing so well, you can pick up those points at the last second. And it means that even right at the very end, you get that last question right, you could end up in the lead. So let's have a go at that, shall we? So you've got to remember that it's worth 5 points, because I may well forget to remind you when it comes up. And obviously no cheating, no Googling, no phones, no nothing, apart from Emma, who's on her phone, of course. And because it's all a bit of fun. There's no prize at the end of it because we can't police that. So, right. Dances with Aardvarks, fantastic. I like that. Emma, good luck. I love your optimism. So let's see how we do. Let's get that going. So here we go. No, you don't get. You can't. It's not like a Joker, unfortunately. You can't choose which question you play the Joker on. The last question in each round is worth 5 points. I just need to try and remember that. All right. So here we go, and let's get going. Are you ready? We're going anyway. If you're not. So round one is the 1960s, and the questions for this were set by our really good friend Frederick Day. So if you're ready, here comes question one. Okay. Oh, just to say, each question has a picture associated with it. Sometimes it's meaningful, sometimes it's not. We struggle sometimes finding pictures that are royalty free that we can use because we don't want to fall foul of copyright. We've been a little bit imaginative with them, shall we say. Just see what I mean. Okay. Right, here we go. So question one, here we go, coming up. And what roughly was the average weekly wage of a manual worker in the early 1960s? For men, £8 and women £5. That's answer A. B, men £10, women £5. C, men £12 and women £8. And D, men £14 and women £7. That's a long one to read out. So, weekly wage of a manual worker in the early 60s. Obviously, quite a discrepancy, this disparity between the men and the women's wages. But which would be about the wages for them? Okay, time's up. Are you ready? The answer is D. Men would be earning around about £14 and women only about £7. Yeah, I know the owner, and it's not good. But men earned roughly double the wages of women, and an annual salary of £1,000 was considered good. The difference had improved or decreased, whichever way you want to look at it, greatly by the end of the 60s, but it still remained and still remains to this day, unfortunately. So if you got D, well done, award yourself a point, and we will move on to question two. Yeah, I know, and we're not guilty of that, by the way, but yeah, right. Unlucky Emma. Steve, all pictures of you are free. Yeah, we've seen some of those pictures though, and yeah, I think the cat is a safer bet, really. If you're ever stuck, get a cat picture. Always works. Learned that from Dan at Zebrano Woodcraft. Next question come out. Question two. And pirate radio was in its prime in the 60s. What was the name of the ship that Radio Caroline broadcasted from? Was it the MV Caroline, the MV Galaxy, MV Ross Revenge, or the MV Red Sands? Radio Caroline. I think it's still out there. I think it's now on digital only or something. But what did it used to broadcast from in the 60s? It was a ship in an estuary somewhere. What was its name? Okay. Stuart Freeney, hello out there. I think you are possibly our furthest away viewer, but good to have you. Thank you for joining in with us. Have a good flight, and I hope you don't have to wait too much longer. Yeah, be back in the UK soon, I guess. So yeah, I hope all goes well for you. Right, let's get back to the quiz. So many distractions. It's good fun. What was the name of the ship? It was, of course, the MV Ross Revenge, which was an ex-Icelandic fishing trawler, apparently also involved in the so-called Cod Wars before it was decommissioned, and it had been previously owned by the Ross Corporation, hence the name Ross Revenge. Okay, another point for you if you got that one right. Question 3, and there's a kind of not a recurring theme through the questions, but remembering that the questions were all set by different people who in the main don't really know each other. So it's surprising how common themes came up a couple of times. This is one of them. And who was the first actor to play Doctor Who when it was first televised in 1963? Was it Patrick Troughton, John Pertwee, William Hartnell, or Tom Baker? Doctor Who, who's the first Doctor? Patrick Troughton, John Pertwee, William Hartnell, or Tom Baker? Mark, they will get easier, maybe. 50-50 isn't an option, I'm afraid, Mandy. Sorry about that. Click the right button, Terry. That'll be good. And the answer is, I'm sure many of you knew this, William Hartnell. So, yeah, if you got that one right, well done. And another point for you there. Okay, so we'll move on to the next question. Yeah, hopefully a pleasant landing for you, Stuart. But yeah, apparently it's quite dodgy over here at the moment. Well, it is dodgy over here weather-wise. So fingers crossed. Right, next question come out. Question 4. And this band in the picture were originally formed in the 60s. But what was their original name? Was it A, the Quarrymen? Was it B, the Liverpudlians? Was it C, the Liverbirds? Or D, the High Numbers? What did they normally get? What were they originally called? The Quarrymen, Liverpudlians, Liverbirds, or the High Numbers? Stephen, good evening. Good to have you joining us. Yeah, so we deliberately did decades. Hopefully, then it will get easier for younger people as we go through, and harder for older people as we go through. Who knows? It's worth a try. All right, let's see. And the correct answer to the band were, of course, the Beatles, and they were originally called the Quarrymen. We made most of the other names up, but the High Numbers was what the Who used to be called. So we stuck that in to confuse any Who fans out there. And well, I don't mind that. You got me getting one right there. Congratulations on that. Yeah, so when I did the practice run for this, someone told me that that their uncle or someone went to school with John Lennon at the Quarry Hill Comprehensive, or Quarry Hill School. So hence the Quarrymen, I think. So I think that's where it came from. So there you go. Right, Tiny Turner 3 right. Well done. Okay, that's funny. See, William Hartnell, I thought it was quite easy, but there we are. Right, next question coming up. Question 5. And Cassius Clay, who wrote these, became world heavyweight boxing champion in 1964. But what name was he later known by? Was it Muhammad Ali? Was it Joe Frazier, Sugar Ray Robinson, or Mike Tyson? Cassius Clay changed his name, but what to? Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, Sugar Ray Robinson, or Mike Tyson? Well done, Dan. That gets you off the or onto the scoreboard. Okay, and I'm sure many of you will know this one. It was indeed Muhammad Ali. Changed his name when he changed his religion, but apparently you couldn't do that in the US until after the 60s. You couldn't change your name, so yeah, he was still known as Cassius Clay over there. And it's time for question 6 in this round, which is, of course, don't forget, a 5-point question. So this could change everything. If you haven't been doing too well, you could sneak up and get back into the lead. Right, here we go. So question 6. Are you ready? And what was the first advertisement broadcast in the UK? Broadcast by UK Independent Colour TV, and it's important it's in colour on the 15th of November 1969. What was it for? Was it for Gibbs SR toothpaste, Players No. 6 cigarettes, Bird's Eye Peas, or Cadbury Milky Bar? So the first colour advertisement broadcast in 1969 was for what? Toothpaste, cigarettes, because they used to advertise cigarettes on TV, kids. Really? Bird's Eye Peas or Cadbury's Milky Bar? Okay, did you know that one? Worth 5 points if you knew it was Bird's Eye Peas. So that was the one that got colour TV going. So 5 points if you got that one right, and nothing if you didn't, I'm afraid. But let's have a look. So that round is ended. How did you do? Let's see what your scores are. Jenny on 4, well done. Steve Madden is doing really, really well, apparently, though he hasn't told us his score yet, so we could do with knowing that, Steve. It was the P's, wasn't it? Yeah, it was the P's. So you got 5 on that one. 5 for Nicholas. Oh, it's all going too fast now. If I keep up with it. Okay, yeah. Massive 2 for someone. 4 for Gareth and 4 Rick. Frederick got one wrong, which isn't fantastic because he wrote the questions. Oh, you guessed it was toothpaste. It was peas. You should have gone with peas. Benjamin mainly on 8. Look at that. Wow, I think that's setting the tone there. Yeah, the toothpaste, that was a little bit naughty actually, because toothpaste was the first advert on British TV, but it was that was in black and white, and that's back in the 50s, I believe. So the first colour one was for the Bird's Eye Peas, apparently. And Jenny Harding on 9. Well done. I salute you. So, right. Yep. Should have had question 5 or 6 as a bonus. Well, 6 was a bonus. Oh, I see what you mean, I think. Right. Okay. Let's move on. Let's go on to the next round. So the next round, unsurprisingly, is the 1970s, which is written by Melissa at work. She sent these questions in for me, and of course these are she's not playing in this round. Melissa's playing with her friends as a team, and so she's not going to answer any of the questions on this one. To be frank, she's probably forgotten what the answers are anyway, but that's another story for another day. All right, so if everyone's ready, Jenny Harding on 9 is, I believe, in the lead so far. Benjamin Maney and team on 8, so well done for that. Let's have a look at the first question in round 2. Here we go. And Apollo 17 was the last rocket in the program to take men to the moon. What year did it launch? Was it 1971, 72, 73, or 74? Apollo 17, the last one to go to the moon, let's take men to the moon. What year did it go up? 71, 72, 73, or 74? Of course, Apollo 11 famously landed on the moon in 1969. Does that give you a clue? Does that make it harder? I don't know. But, oh, the music is finished already. So here we go. The answer is 1972, which I must admit, when Mel gave me the questions, I got that totally wrong. Thinking that they didn't have that many, they weren't that quick with the missions, but the Apollo missions, they had up to 4 of them per year at a total cost of about $25 billion. And they were going to go up to Apollo 20, but the program got cancelled pretty much due to a lack of interest. Everyone got bored with the space race and that, and they stopped doing it. So, yeah, save some money there, I think. All right, so point there if you got 1972. Well done. Right. And question 8. Oh, in 1979, Margaret Thatcher became Britain's first woman prime minister. Who was her first Home Secretary? Was it Douglas Hurd, Leon Britton, Kenneth Baker, or William Whitelaw? Margaret Thatcher, 79, the first female prime minister in Britain. But who was her first Home Secretary? Douglas Hurd, Leon Britton, Kenneth Baker, or William Whitelaw? Okay, let's find out. The answer is William Whitelaw, or as everyone called he was known, Willie Whitelaw. That's he of the short, sharp shock, if any of you remember that. Yeah, that was his probably his most famous soundbite. But yeah, he was a very treasured member of the cabinet for Margaret Thatcher, apparently. I do some research, not much. Okay, so that was question 8. Question 9 coming up. What picture did I use? Oh yeah, I changed the picture on this one because it was pretty horrific before. Question 9. Here we go. Stephen King's first book, Carrie, was published in 1974. But what was his next book? Was it Salem's Lot, The Dead Zone, Rage, or The Shining? Carrie. Probably seen the film, if not read the book. But what did he write next? Salem's Lot, The Dead Zone, Rage, or The Shining? Always worth a guess if you don't know. Okay, and the answer to that one is Salem's Lot, which if you haven't read it and you like a good scare, it's a brilliant book. It's one of the few books, if not the only book, that's actually scared me when I was reading it. You can feel goosebumps coming up. So if you haven't read it, I do recommend it. It's very, very good. The others are all good, but that's brilliant. Salem's Lot came out in 75, Dead Zone in 79, Shining in 77. Here's Johnny, and Rage also in 77. So that's but Salem's Lot was his second book. Well worth it if you haven't done that. I was just reading the chat there and trying to make sense of it, and I realised what it was. Okay, so question 10 coming up. Here we go. And Virginia Wade won the women's single title at Wimbledon in 1977, Jubilee year, if you remember it, because there's no questions about the Jubilee. But who did she beat in the final? Was it Yvonne Goolagong? Was it Billie Jean King, Christina Everett, or Betty Stover? Well done, Dan, getting a few right. 77 at Wimbledon. Who did Virginia Wade beat to win the women's singles title? Yvonne Goolagong, Billie Jean King, Christina Everett, or Betty Stover? Okay, and the answer is D. It was Betty Stover. So congratulations if you got that right. And yeah, it went to 3 sets because Virginia Wade lost the first set 4-6. She went on to win the next 2 sets 6-3, 6-1. So that was a great result for her. And of course, bringing home or keeping the trophy in the UK and the Jubilee year just was a really big thing. Okay. Yeah, that was a tough one, Dan. You know, we can forgive you for not knowing that one. Don't worry about it. All right. So the next question coming up. Question 11 is who took Ring My Bell to number 1 in 1979? Was it Anita Ward, Lena Martell, Denise Williams, or Julie Covington? Julie Covington, isn't it? Sorry. Anita Ward, Lena Martell, Denise Williams, or Julie Covington? Who took Ring My Bell to number 1 in 1979? Stephen, yeah, I can start again. You just need to push the slider on your YouTube back and it's all there again. But you will be behind the rest of us, though. All right. Oh, the music stopped. So, did you know this one? it was Anita Ward. She. Oh, you'd know the song, Emma. I'm sure you'd know the song. I'm not going to sing it for you because we need to keep. I need to keep the audience. But yeah, Anita Ward took "Ring My Bell" to #1 in 1979, and that's pretty much all she did. Quite honestly, she was a bit of a one-hit wonder. Unfortunately, she did release some other stuff, but nothing really made it for her. All right, so let's move on. So this is the last question in this round. Double points. Here we go. The Wombles were discovered in Wimbledon in the 70s, but which Womble was the engineer? So he's the mechanic and engineer, maintenance man. Was it Orinoco, Tobermory, Tomsk, or Bungo? The Wombles on Wimbledon. Loved them as a kid. But who was the engineer? Who was the handyman? Who was the one building everything? Orinoco, Tobermory, Tomsk, or Bungo? Right. Does anyone know that? We did originally have a picture saying which Womble is this? Copyright again, so we couldn't do that, unfortunately. I looked everywhere. Just bought a house from Ring My Bell. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, they all had sort of jobs, but yeah, Tobermory was the builder, was the engineer. He was always making things and putting stuff together, in amongst all the litter picking and stuff. And I did try to find a picture of litter on Wimbledon Common or W or anything for this one. Failed miserably. So that's the end of the round. If you got Tobermory, give yourself 5 points. And if you didn't, or if you did, but yeah, let's see how you did. What are your scores? How are you doing so far? So conveniently, it's now out of 20. Oh, Yorkshire T3 only scored 2 in that round. Mark S with the full house, that's good. Ant Hill Mob scored 4. And Laurie recovered on that question. Well done. 5, yeah. 9. Well, that's good, Dan. Charlie 8. Only 1 bad guessing. 4 for Gareth. Benjamin Main. Oh, Benjamin, how the mighty have fallen. All right. Oh, right. 6 in total. 7 that round. Nathaniel Griffiths up to 6. Okay. Tobermory. Yeah, I'm sure it is. All right. Okay, well, it could get better. It could get worse. I can't say, but we'll crack on. We'll do another round, then we'll take a break. Give you a chance. So someone said they need some more beer. If you can just give us a few more minutes. Engineers. I see. Kate. Yeah, they were definitely engineers. Stephen Madden, well done. 18 points. Wow, out of 20. I'm impressed with that. I hope you're not cheating there. All right, so should we move on to the 80s? And this is probably if I was doing this is probably the last round that I would get very many points in. So I'm not sure on that. So round 3 is the 80s with the questions set by Chris Gerling, who's a friend of ours. He may even be watching, I'm not sure. Right, Jenny needs more brain cells, not beer. Yeah, that's kind of working against you. Doesn't beer kill off brain cells? I'm not sure. Let's find out. Anyway, let's go on. Round 3, question 13. And released in 1989, which was the first film to go on general release with a 12 certificate? Was it Dances with Wolves, not Aardvarks, sadly, Batman, Arachnophobia, or Total Recall? The 12 certificate was brand new. It'd never been used before. In which film got it? Dances with Wolves, Batman, Arachnophobia, or Total Recall? Roy's abandoned you. Why is he abandoning you, Emma? That's unfair. All right. Oh, I'm sure the truth will come out. I'm sure the fact we will be told. In the meantime, which film got the 12 certificate? It was Batman. That was the Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson Batman. So Stephen's Stephen's gone. Stephen's making his apologies already. I just heard a cheer from the other room, so I'm assuming Mandy got that one right. And in the meantime, we'll move on to question 14. Okay. So how many films in the 80s featured the most famous driver of this type of car? Was it 3, 4, 5, or 6? So this is a semi-picture question. Famous car there. Who is the most famous driver of it? And how many films featured him in the 80s? 3, 4, 5, or 6? All right. Always worth a guess if you don't know. Last chance to put a guess down, because the answer is 5, believe it or not. There were 5 James Bond films in the 80s. Oh, no, it's not Herbie, but you know what? It should have been. Why didn't we have a Herbie question? Oh, yeah. Sorry, Dan. No, definitely not Herbie. And I think Aston Martin would be very, very upset to hear you say that. So, yeah. And if you are in the slightest bit interested, the films were in 81, For Your Eyes Only, 83, Octopussy, 85, A View to a Kill, all with Roger Moore as James Bond. And then in 87, The Living Daylights, which was Timothy Dalton's first outing as James Bond. And in 89, License to Kill, which was Timothy Dalton's last outing as James Bond. Yeah, okay. Is that car running reliant? Okay. Can we move on now? Yes, they did bring the car back in Skyfall, which is a spoiler if anyone's not seen it yet. Sorry about that. All right. Okay, next question coming up. Let's move on from Herbie quickly. I think we could be on Herbie all night if we're not careful. So I'm going to get the next question up. And featuring Naranjito, as its mascot, where was the 1982 FIFA World Cup held? Was it Spain, Mexico, Argentina, or Italy? So there is a huge clue in that question. Naranjito as its mascot, where was the 1982 FIFA World Cup held? Spain, Mexico, Argentina, or Italy? Tortoises are actually quite fast. We used to have a tortoise when I was a kid. Man, it could move. Yeah, when it wanted to, anyway. And climb. They love climbing. Anyway, we're going off the subject. Does anyone care? 1982 FIFA World Cup was held in Spain. Naranjito means little orange, and the mascot was an orangey type thing, little animated orange, very, very strange. But Italy won that one, beating West Germany 3-1 in the final. Yeah, and they can shift, and they love climbing, escaping. Times I have to chase. We used to have to knock on neighbours' doors trying to find them. Ugh, nightmare. Okay, question 15 coming up. And which song was used for the Ferry Aid single, which was released following the Zeebrugge disaster in 1987? It was a Beatles song, as a clue. Was it Yesterday, The Long and Winding Road, Something, or Let It Be? Zeebrugge disaster, yeah, that was the Herald of Free Enterprise, which capsized 6th of March 1987, and it killed, sadly, tragically killed 193 passengers and crew. Apparently someone left the door open and they were asleep and they should have checked it. Tragic, absolutely tragic. And a song was released to raise money for the victims' families and like so. But which song was it? And if you don't know, and it was Let It Be. Sadly can't tell you how much it raised, but I know it did raise a lot of money for that. So very much a popular thing to do it started in the 80s charity songs. Let's leave that behind and move on to question 17. And who was the presenter of Treasure Hunt in the 1980s? Was it A, Kenneth Kendall, B, David Frost, C, Michael Aspel, or D, Michael Burke? Treasure Hunt. It featured Annika Rice, I think, going around the country in a helicopter and answering clues from one place to another. But who was back in the studio? Just read Emma's comment there. Kenneth Kendall, David Frost, Michael Aspel, Michael Burke. Anyone remember Treasure Hunt? Gotta say, sorry, Leona. Yeah, I didn't write the questions here. Kenneth Kendall was back at base, I think, feeding Emma the questions. Yeah, it probably is the wrong sort of a helicopter. I think that's a rescue helicopter from Switzerland. It's the only picture I could find that looks vaguely non-military, quite honestly. I don't think Annika Rice was rushing around in the helicopter with missiles strapped to the side of it. So I had to use that picture. Sorry there. But yeah, right. Okay, so that's the was it like Fort Boyard? I guess it was. I actually never watched Fort Boyard, so I can't really answer that question, Dan. But I think it sort of might have been. Yeah, it's like a treasure hunt that you might do in a car or like as a walking thing. And she had a helicopter for it, so it's a bit more. It's a little bit more glamorous in the helicopter. Better than the Apache. Yeah, okay, Simon, let's. I think we can not go down that route, really. And we'll move on to question 18. Last question in the round. And this is worth 5 points if you can get it. Yeah, have a little Google, Dan, but not now, later on, yeah? Later on. Treasure Hunt, Annika Rice. They brought it back later on as well with... someone else, and I can't remember who it was, but Google it, it'll all come out. It'll all come out later on. Question 18, double points coming up. Here you go. Which musical debuted at the Barbican Centre in London during 1985? Was it Starlight Express? Was it Cats? Was it Chess? Or was it Les Miserables? And I can never pronounce that one. But which musical debuted in the Barbican Centre London during 1985? Starlight Express, Cats, Chess, or Les Mis? I'll cheat. 5 points up for grabs if you can get this one right. And the answer is, I'm with you. Which chestnut products smell the nicest? Actually, no one agrees with me on that one, so we can't go there, I'm afraid. Let's stick with musicals, and the answer is Les Mis. So if you put D for that, well done. The Barbican was the London home of the Royal Shakespeare Company at the time, and the original cast, cheer from the other room, and the original cast included Michael Ball and Alan Armstrong, a very young Michael Ball and Alan Armstrong as Thénardier, I think he was. And yeah, hard to act soil for me, okay, I'm just saying. So that was there, and that was the end of round 3. How did you, let's see your points then. So, only 1 point there for Jenny, Charlie on 4. And favourite, we got it. Oh, Kate, really? Shame on you. Some good scores here. Yes, Simon Seller, Sandy Sealer. Oh, Anne, really? Oh, the friction polish. Yeah, friction polish. Oh. Okay. Oh, well done, Graham, getting the bonus question right. Right, okay. Oh, we only got one of the 80s questions right, so that's good. So we're we're actually at halfway point here now. So let's put me back on the screen for a second. So we'll take a break in a minute, but before we do that, I've got something a bit special for you, I hope. We always try and have a little interlude, a little musical extravaganza halfway through the evening when we're doing this. And we've got something a bit different this year. Some of you may know that our Instagram feed and a lot of our Facebook stuff is run for us by a young man called Benjamin Goodwin. He's is it 21? He's actually Mel's son. So she's asked me to mention that because she's not at all proud of him much. So Ben has worked for us in the warehouse during his breaks from university, and he's very, very creative, and he does a lot of the photography and the design work for us. He designed this graphic for us, so he did that among other things. And so he does a lot of the photography and stuff that we use in our Instagram feed. As I said, he came and worked for us during his breaks from university, where he's studying music and theatre, or musical theatre, which he's passed, and he's now following his dream. And he's probably not watching this because he's probably, I would hope, on stage at the moment up in York in that well-known pantomime Robinson Crusoe, which should only have about 3 people in it, I'm sure, but he's part of the ensemble there. He's been in panto for the last 3 years, this year being no different. And we've got something to play for you now. This is something that Benjamin filmed for his local church. It's a Christmas song. So it's a couple of days late, I'm afraid, but it's a lovely Christmas song. It's not a carol. It's more of a hymn than a carol, but bear with it, because once you've watched it, you will be humming the hook line all evening, I promise you. So I'm going to play this for you. So please stick around and have a look at that, and then we will then take a proper break, give you a chance to go and get a drink, refresh your glasses, do anything else you might need to do. So, ladies and gentlemen, please stick around, have a look. Here's Benjamin Goodwin and a song called Mary, Did You Know?
Mary, did you know that your baby boy would one day walk on water? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would save our sons and daughters? Did you know that your baby boy has come to make you new? This child that you delivered will soon deliver you. Mary, did you know that your baby boy will give sight to a blind man? Mary, did you know that your baby boy will calm the storm with his hand? Did you know that your baby boy has walked where angels trod? When you kiss your little baby, you kiss the face of God. Mary, did you know? The blind will see, the deaf will hear, the dead will live again. The lame will leap, the dumb will speak, the praises of
Well, that is certainly impressive. He had a cold that day, apparently. So brilliant. I hope they kept him warm that evening. So yeah, that's Ben Goodwin. And if you see some of our Instagram feeds, and Ben may have been in touch with some of you to use some of your pictures and stuff in the past, so that's who you've been dealing with. So yeah, he's a very talented young man. Very, very good. He's also a very good dancer. If there's any agents, well, he's got an agent actually, but anyone out there, any scouts or whatever, then yeah, let us know. But yeah, we're really, really happy with everything he does for us, and he works really hard for what he does. He attends a lot of auditions and the like throughout the year. So yeah, I really hope he goes a lot further than in the future. So we will take a proper break now. I'm going to stick on a little clip that is about 3 minutes long. So if you need to dash off anywhere, now's the time to do it. And we'll be back in about 3 minutes from about now. And here we are, we're back again. So I couldn't keep up with all the chat there, but yeah, Frederick, hope you had a nice mince pie. You haven't eaten yet, so yeah, we'll get that done. And Stephen, you didn't have to go anywhere, so that was table service. I like it. How did you arrange that? So well done. All right, everyone back? Everyone ready for part two? All right. So just give us a moment or two. We'll get on with the next part of the quiz. Just something thought, am I actually on here? But yes, I am. So that's fine. So we can do that. So we'll just give ourselves another few seconds, and it will be time for the next round, which is in fact going to be, unsurprisingly, the 1990s. Chris Golding put through some questions for this for us. I changed some. I absolutely mauled some of them, to be honest. Sorry, Chris, but he does know that already, and he's fine with that. And so we've got some questions on the 1990s for you. Are you ready? All right, Dan, I'm relying on you then. Is that the kiss of death? I don't know. It's always dangerous to say things like that, but I'm sure you'll be fine, mate. I'm sure you'll be fine. Everybody ready? Let's get going on question 1. Let me just work out my other graphic things first. There we go. So question 1, here we go. And it's this one. The first Harry Potter novel was published in this decade. But which year? Was it 1985? No, 1995, 1996, 1997, or 1998? The first Harry Potter novel came out in this year, but when was it? Which year was it? 95, 96, 97, and 98. Oh, I forgot to start the music. There you go. So I hope you've not been Googling that and cheating with it. Of course you wouldn't. Question 19 we're on. Harry Potter. I think Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, I think. That was the first book. Not much of a Harry Potter fan. Sorry, I like the book, I like the films, but not read the books. Which year did the first book come out? And it was in 1997. So give yourself a point if you got that right. Well done. Next to me, guessing confidently this round. Yeah, guessing is always a good way forward on it. I've got to admit, as I get up to the 90s, and I have been struggling with it. Question 20. The USSR split in 1991. How many new countries were created when that happened? Was it 10, 12, 15, or 18? The USSR split quite famously in 1991, creating loads of new countries. How many though? 10, 12, 15, or 18? Always worth a guess if you're not sure. Okay, time's up, and the answer is 15. So if you put 15, give yourself another point. Question 21, name them all. No, just joking, really not. You'll be pleased to know. Question 21 is a little bit closer to home. The Channel Tunnel opened in 1994. Roughly how long is it? That's the tunnel part of it. Is it 27 miles, 37 miles, 25 miles, or 34 miles? Channel Tunnel, roughly how long is it? Opened in 1994, finally. You know, it's the longest undersea tunnel in the world. But how long is it? Okay, and the answer is 25 miles. That's according to the Eurotunnel website, which also told me that it took 5 years to build, and it was one of the boring machines, not boring machine, whole boring, you know what I mean. One of the boring machines was so big they couldn't get it out again after once it was in there, so they concreted it in. It's buried under the sea. So there you go. That's that'll teach it to be so boring, I guess. I don't know. Right, shall I move on? Question 22, very, very quickly. And Laurie, good guess. Well done. That's good. It's always good when a guess comes right, isn't it? Question 22. The National Lottery also launched in 1994. Who presented the first TV draw program? Was it Annika Rice, coming back again, Noel Edmonds, Philip Schofield, or Bob Monkhouse? National Lottery launched in 1994. Oh, so that'll be what, 30 years old next year. Who presented the first TV draw program? No. It's Annika Rice, Noel Edmonds, Philip Schofield, or Bob Monkhouse. Anyone remember watching it? The answer is it was Noel Edmonds. It was a 1 hour show built around just literally pulling 6 balls out of a machine. And it was probably the most boring TV program ever. It's actually happened on my birthday, believe it or not. And so I went out for the evening. I did do a ticket, but didn't win. And I watched the program on video afterwards, and man, it was dull. I fast forwarded through most of it. But the first draw, the numbers, if you are even vaguely interested, or if these are now your numbers, you should have started earlier. There were 30, 3, 5, 44, 14, and 22. And the bonus number was 10. And 7 jackpot winners, or according to my notes, 7 jackpot winders. They shared £5.8 million. So, wasn't me, unfortunately. But that was the National Lottery. So let's move on. Question 23. And in 1991, Nigeria moved their capital city. That's quite a common thing, apparently. But which of these countries has never done that, has never moved their capital city? Pakistan, Turkey, Russia, or Brazil? So when we're saying they've moved their capital city, they've just made another city their capital. Obviously, they don't pick it up and move them. But can I be? Right, so 1991. Mark S., I'm afraid you don't remember it quite as well as you think. It was the 19th of November that the first one took place. But back to question 23, and the 1991, Nigeria moved their capital city. The only country listed there that hasn't moved their capital is Turkey. Nigeria went from Lagos to Abuja. Pakistan in 1959 went from Karachi to Islamabad. Russia moved from St. Petersburg to Moscow in 1918. I think they moved back and then back again as well later on. And in 1960, Brazil moved their capital from Rio de Janeiro to Brasilia. Don't you know? But Turkey have renamed various places, but they've never moved their capital. So there you go, Ankara, isn't it? God, I hope I've got that right. Okay, so question 24 coming up. Last question in the round, and it's worth 5 points if you can get it right. And just remember, I tried really hard with these pictures. That's all I'm going to say. 24. How many Christmas number ones did the Spice Girls have in the 1990s? Now, too many is not the answer, but is it none, 1, 2, or 3? The Spice Girls. Did they have any Christmas number ones in the 1990s? And if so, how many? Or did they have none? 1, 2, or 3? And that's obviously pictures of Spice, because that's all I could get. All right, so 0, 1, 2, or 3, and the answer is amazingly 3. Amazing for so many reasons. But yeah, in 1996, they had 2 become 1. In 1997, too much. Couldn't agree more. And in 1998, it was goodbye. And yeah, fortunately, that was it. They kind of left after that, so we won't complain about that. Yeah, it's fun with the photos, Emma. It's just royalty-free stuff. It's always a pain. So if you got 3, if you wrote 3 down, or D as the answer for that one, then it is worth 5 points. So well done. And let's have a look at your scores. Round is over. So Yorkshire T3 got 6 there. Jeff Chrissy on 1. Saved by question 24 for Anne Laurie. Okay, Melissa didn't do so well. 1990s is the worst decade of Mike's life. That's a bit sad. Mike's life. Sad to hear that. Tiny Sin of 14. Oh, yeah, but it's funny. We deliberately did the decades thing to try and bring the to cover everyone. But yeah, it's very, very difficult. Very difficult. Daniel's on 18. Well done. 33 there. 25, 22. Yeah. Didn't like to ask, Emma. But yeah. Roderick on 18. Yeah. Oh, Gareth not doing so well there. It just doesn't. Yeah. It's funny. We tried to get a good spread of questions. I hope you're enjoying it, even if you're not getting the answers. I do hope you're enjoying the questions and just taking part. It's just a bit of fun. It's just a bit of fun. No one's judging, especially not me, because I would have got most of these wrong. I've got to say, I didn't write the questions, so it's always very difficult. Shall we move on? Question, what are we going to be on to now? I think it's going to be question 25, isn't it? When I did the run through on this, we had 2 question 12s, which was a bit confusing. I put all the numbers out, so it really got messy. Right, we're now on to the 2000s, and these questions were set by Ashley Howard, who's a regular contributor to the newsletter with pictures and various comments, most of which are unprintable, to be honest, but he does send some stuff through for me. And he provided most of these questions. I've doctored a few of them. So, question 25. Which long-running UK TV programme was revived in 2005 after a gap of 16 years? Was it Doctor Who? Was it Top of the Pops, Top Gear, or Gardener's World? Importantly, it's a TV programme, as they all are. But what was it? Is it Doctor Who, Top of the Pops, Top Gear, or Gardener's World? Yes, TVs did used to look like that. Did you get that one? The answer is, there is Doctor Who coming back again. We had him earlier, and here he is again. The Christopher Eccleston series was debuted in 2005. And there hadn't been a TV series of Doctor Who for 16 years. They had made a film of it, but it wasn't quite the same thing. Mick, you haven't missed much, I've got to say. Right, so Frederick Day, I'm not sure what he's saying yeah to there. If he means he got it right, or is Frederick started the Doctor Who thing with his William Hartnell question. But yeah, let's see. Right, moving on. Question 26. If you got Doctor Who on that one, give yourself a point. If you didn't, don't. And question 26. So we go. This man died in 2006. How old was he? Was he 58, 59, 68, or 69? I'm not going to tell you who he is. It's a question. It's a picture question. How old was this man when he died in 2006? 58, 59, 68, or 69? Amanda, some of them are green, apparently. I saw it in the picture. Okay, do you know? He was 69. And in case you don't know, it's the former Iraq president Saddam Hussein. He died in 2006 at the age of 69. Give yourself a point if you got that, and I'm afraid you can't if you didn't. Question 27. Now, in 2003, the European heatwave was the hottest summer recorded in Europe since when? Was it 1940, 1870, 1840, or 1540? European heatwave. 2003. Hottest summer recorded in Europe since when? 1940, 1870, 1840, or 1540? Anyone remember it? No one here is going to remember the previous hottest summer. I don't think so anyway. So, yeah. And it was actually in 1540. So definitely no one here remembers that. In 2003, the temperatures got up to 38.5 degrees C. The tarmac melted on the M25, and the rails buckled. And that was the record temperature until 2019, when it got to 38.6. And that's when that's the summer Nathaniel was born, apparently. So Sarah, you must have really suffered, because probably wasn't fun carrying a baby in that heat. So yeah. But hey, he's done all right since, so we can't complain too much. All right, moving on to question 28. And a new currency known as the euro arrived. When did these notes become legal tender? Was it 2001, 2006, 2002, or 2003? The euro, when did that come in? When did it become legal tender? The notes, importantly. 2001, 2006, 2002, or 2003? Okay, yeah, apparently it did on the M25, Amanda. The tarmac melted there. Right. Okay, so the euro arrived not on our shores. I was about to say on our shores, but it didn't. It didn't reach our shores, did it? And it's in 2002 when that came into common usage. So if you got 2002, well done, and you give yourself a point for that one. And we will move on to the next question. And here we go. Question 29. Double click there by mistake. Hopefully no one saw that. In 2005, French surgeons performed a groundbreaking transplant. What did they transplant? Was it a spleen, face, a hand, or a brain? Haha, Emma. Yes, very good. But French surgeons transplanted what for the first time? A spleen, a face, a hand, or a brain? And yeah, I'm just resisting a really bad joke here at the moment. So yeah, it's the answer is in fact a face. I don't know if you saw that when I accidentally double clicked on that. There's probably a few people out there could act as brain donors with the scores we're getting in, but anyway, let's not go there. If it's big, then yeah, it is possible. Apparently, it was quite tragic, really. It was face off. Very good. Yeah, it was. The transplant patient had tried to commit suicide, and her dog tried to rouse her, and he just kept going. He kept trying more and harder to wake her up and to bring her around, and actually ended up gnawing part of her face off just to try and wake her up. And must have worked in the end, I guess, because she lived to tell the tale. Obviously, her face was disfigured, so they did a transplant in 2005. So yeah, pretty amazing, really, and pretty amazing dog, I guess. So we'll move on. Yeah, amazing what you learn, isn't it, Emma? Yeah. Oh, was it? Sorry, Anne. Apologies for that. We'll move on quickly then. Question 30, and this is worth double points, isn't it? So, which musical artist had the best-selling album of the noughties? Was it James Blunt, Robbie Williams, Amy Winehouse, or the Beatles? Stephen, sorry about that. I thought it was interesting. Who had the best-selling album of the noughties? James Blunt, Robbie Williams, Amy Winehouse, or the Beatles? Do we know the answer to that one? Okay, well, let's find out, because the answer is James Blunt. His album Back to Bedlam sold 3.2 million copies, making the best-selling artist of the, giving him the best-selling album of the noughties. So that was the end of that round. Let's have a look at your questions. Let's have a look at your scores. Sorry. And yeah, I watched Con Air on TV the other night, and it sounds like a goat. Okay. Yeah, which had Nicolas Cage in it, and Mandy just mentioned Face Off as the film, which was a similar premise. If you haven't seen it, and if you haven't seen it, don't watch it after dinner. Apparently, if your name's Stephen. So yeah. Oh, James Blunt sounds like a goat. Oh, right, okay. Greatest of all time. Yeah, I don't think that's actually what Emma means there. All right, well done, folks. We're roaring through here, doing well. Yeah, I don't think anyone's doing abysmally there. Some of them are a little bit tricky, but it's good. Sorry, I'm reading the chat as we go through here. Yeah, some decent scores out there, people. Well done. You're doing well. Everything to play for in the last round for some of you. Remembering that magical 5-point bonus on the last question. It could all change. It could all change. So are we ready for the are we ready for the last leg? Yeah. Just look at some of the comments in the Stephen gave up after the 1980s. Yes, I did music, I think, actually, but yeah, here we go. Right, let's move on to the 2010s, and these questions were set by Katie Riches, who works for us in the office. And if you phoned the office, chances are Katie's answered the phone to you, and she very kindly wrote these questions for us. Right, so Anna Smith on 36. That's not a bad score. Right, must be. I think we should do the last leg of the quiz and see how we get on. So here we go, and question 31. I think we've got coming up. Here it is. And in 2014, who beat Aston Villa at Wembley to win the FA Cup for the second successive time? Was it Wigan Athletic? Was it Arsenal, Manchester United, or Leicester City? This is feeling the heat there by the look of it. 2014, who beat Aston Villa at Wembley, winning the FA Cup the second successive time? Wigan Athletic, Arsenal, Man United, or Leicester City? Football. I didn't write the questions, Rick. Sorry, I didn't write the questions. I thought Wigan Athletic was a bit wild, really. But the answer is, in fact, Arsenal, as you may have guessed. Wigan Athletic did win the FA Cup in the 2010s, apparently. But yeah, what is the FA Cup? Who knows? Who cares, really? But that's the answer, is Arsenal. That gives you a point if you got it right. And we'll move on to question 32. And Adele had her first number one, first UK number one in 2011, but with which song? So was it Set Fire to the Rain, Someone Like You, Rumour Has It, or Make You Feel My Love? Adele hit the top spot for the first time in 2011. With which song? Set Fire to the Rain, Someone Like You, Rumour Has It, or Make You Feel My Love? And it's no point zooming in on those records because they're not them. Okay, do you know that one? Here we go. The answer is Someone Like You. None of the other songs there reached #1 for her. And rumour has it, actually didn't even make the top 50. It stalled at number 85, surprisingly. So, but the correct answer, there was first #1 was B, Someone Like You in 2011. All right. Yeah, Frederick, you're never too old. But yeah, unfortunately, some people are a little bit too young for the questions in the 60s. What can you do? What can you do? It all works out in the end. We'll go on to question 33. And who won the Best Actor in a Leading Role Oscar for their role in Manchester by the Sea in 2017? Was it Casey Affleck, Andrew Garfield, Ryan Gosling, or Sean Penn? Manchester by the Sea. You know what? I've never seen it. Is it any good? Anyone seen it? Is it any good? Do you know who was in it? Was it Casey Affleck, Andrew Garfield, Ryan Gosling, or Sean Penn? Who won the Oscar for it? Okay, let's see. The answer is Casey Affleck. He won the Oscar for the Manchester by the Sea. It's a good film, is it? I'll have to look it out and try and catch up with that. Don't even know what it's about. I know nothing about that film, but other than it obviously existed. So I'll look out for it. And maybe I'd have known the answer to that question if I had. Did you get that one right? Let's hope you did. And if so, you can get a point for it. And we'll in the meantime, we'll move on to question 34. This is probably a bit of a guessing question, but it was, yeah, well done. Well done. No. Yes and no. Question 34. At the start of this decade, so in 2010, what was the population of the world to the nearest billion? Is it 6 billion, 7 billion, 8 billion, or 9 billion? World population. But aren't they all guessing questions? Well, at least you can have a guess. 6, 7, 8, or 9 billion in 2010, start of this decade. Any ideas? Have you put a guess down? Did you know? Did you go around and count everyone? Because the answer is 7 billion. In fact, it was just under 7 billion, but it would round up to 7 billion. It's now, 13 years later, it's now over 8 billion people in the world. I think I might have got that one wrong. So yeah, we'll move on to question 35. So 7 billion is the answer to that one. If you got that right, well done. And did you hear that? I don't know. Right. Next question coming up. Question 35. And who won the first I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here of this decade? The answer is who cares is not an option, I'm afraid. Your choices are Stacey Solomon, Shaun Ryder, Vicky Patterson, or Charlie Brooks. I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. Has anyone watched that? I don't. But who won it in 2010? Stacey Solomon, Shaun Ryder, Vicky Patterson, or Charlie Brooks? Yeah, I mean, there is a loose definition of the term celebrity, Nick, I've got to say. Has music finished? Yep, I think it has. So I'll put you out of your misery and tell you all that it was Stacey Solomon. Does anyone care? Probably not really. I'm sure she did. I'm sure she was very happy about it at the time. She's a singer and presenter, apparently. Charlie Brooks was in EastEnders. The other two I can't remember. I did look them up, but I couldn't even remember the answer to the question, to be honest with you. So what can you say? Right. So last question coming up. And here we go. Are you ready? 5 points at stake here. Yeah, if in doubt, pick A. Yeah, 1 in 4. 1 in 4. Here we go. Question 36. So despite its appearance This skyscraper was completed and opened in 2016. But where is it? Is it in Bangkok, Dubai, New York, or Paris? And I'm going to make that just a bit bigger. Can't make it that much bigger for you, unfortunately. But yeah, that's the weirdest looking skyscraper ever. But where is it? Is it Bangkok, Dubai, New York, or Paris? Okay. Did you get this one right? Did you get 5 points? Has it made all the difference? The answer is Bangkok is where that is. It's the King Power Mahanakhon, which is 77 stories high, or about 314 meters tall. Now, it's a mixture of business and residential, and it has a skywalk at the top of it, which is like a glass floor that you can walk out across and feel like there's nothing underneath you. So there you go. Stephen, you've seen buildings like that in Slough, but most of them are being knocked down, I would guess, rather than completed. And there you go. So the quiz has ended. How did you do? Let's see your scores in the chat. Let's see who's the winner. If we've got one. Oh, Dan got it right. If you wrote A or B, Amanda would let you have that because we're feeling generous there. Oh, I can't see your total there. Oh, what's going on? Hang on. 28, 20, 30, 22. Right. Let's try to keep up with that. 41 for Charlie, I think. Is that the highest score there? 30 for Dan, that's pretty good. Gareth redeemed himself there with 7 in that round. Kate, 28. Roderick on 29. 32 for Flood and Escapees. Rick on 30. That's not too bad at all. Alan Smith on 40. Is that the highest score? I can't control this thing here. Mark has 46. Thank you. The owner doesn't want to say. Graham, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Retiring to the Oasis of the Camels. Well done. Why not? That sounds like a good idea to me. 46 for Mark. Well done. That is a good total. See, it can be done. I'm sure there's no cheating going on. Benjamin on 32. I'm just scrolling back here. That's a good result. Charlie 41. That was good. 46 for Mark. Yep, found that one now. Missed that completely. Nathaniel on 29. I don't think anyone's done badly because it doesn't really matter. It's just a bit of fun, and it's just about having a laugh, really. Let's put me on the screen a little bit. There we are. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Anne. Yeah, there's always next year. And what happened there? Put myself on the screen and removed myself completely. So yeah, one day I'll get the hang of this, but it's taken a while. Jenny, I'm glad you had a good laugh. It's been fun. I've really enjoyed doing it. That's why we do these, because I enjoy it. It's a great opportunity to get together. If I had more time, I would do more of them. So it's yeah. I will try and get a few more done during the year if you can stand it. And I'm glad you've all enjoyed it so far. Lots of lots of nice comments there. Yeah, there's always. It's just good humour. It's just funny. Bonus points carry over from Barbie Girl karaoke. Oh, let's not mention Barbie Girl karaoke. I think that's the most problem. Oh, no, Mark, yes, you did really well there, so that's good. And I would like again to thank all of my question setters for. I'm looking crumpled, am I? Thank you. Looking crumpled. There we are. That's brilliant. Nathaniel, glad you enjoyed it. Stephen, glad you liked it. Alan, thank you very much for that. Yeah, you're welcome. It's been good fun. And we will draw a line on there now, and we'll get that going. Actually, I didn't know you were out there. Well done. Nice to have you there. Thank you for your questions. You're keeping a low profile there in case anyone didn't like the questions, I can tell. Yeah, maybe we should do like a handicap system where, depending on your score, we give extra points for it. Yeah, not sure how well we can do that, but it is fun. I quite enjoy this way of doing it without the Kahoot. Kahoot's good fun for getting the scores, but it does take a long time getting the scores up every round. It's just after every question. But yeah, it's good. Ash, too much info there. That oh yeah, it's a buffing joke, I think. I'm going to take that as being a buffing joke. I really hope that it is, and if it's not, then I'll be worried. Yeah, sorry about that, Emma. We were at one time going to do a Conkers Live mastermind and let people do, invite people on and have their chosen specialist round. I had all the Thunderbirds questions ready for you, and we just never got to do it. And I don't know why. Charlie, looking forward to seeing you at the weekend. Mark S won, Mandy. He got 46 points, so he did really well. So I'm going to put it there. Oh, yeah, I did have some real stinkers of questions for you on that, Emma, with the Thunderbirds, but you'd have got them, I'm sure. You'd have got them, no doubt at all. So I'm going to call it there. People are starting to drift off, which is fine. Thank you very much for joining in this evening. I hope you've enjoyed it. We will do some more. I will try really hard to organise another couple of these during the year between now and the Weekender. And don't forget the Weekender. I know some of you have got your tickets there already, so thank you very much for that. They are selling well, I'm pleased to say, but don't forget to come and join us if you can. And in the meantime, I will say, let me be the first to say Happy New Year to you. I hope you have a good one ahead. Look forward to seeing lots of you during the year at various shows, exhibitions, demos, and whatever else. And yeah, have fun. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Enjoy the rest of the week. Enjoy the rest of the year. And let's have a good one next year. So let's just find my the bits I need to turn on now. There's so many different things here. And I'll say goodbye. Sign out with a bit of Lemonade by the Striker Big Band. I still love this music. It's really good. So hope you enjoy it. And and thanks also to Ben Goodwin for letting us use that clip earlier on. I'm glad you all enjoyed it. Absolutely amazing stuff. And if you're up in York, you can catch him at the theatre there in Panto with Robinson Crusoe. Okay, cheerio. Thank you very much. Happy New Year, everyone. I'll leave this running for a little while longer for the run out, and you can keep chatting along. So cheers for now. Goodbye. Thanks for being there. Bye now.